All right.
What's up, y'all?
Dude, it's like the old times.
It is like the old times. I bet you guys are bummed out because you don't get to see our gorgeous faces and our, what do they call that, godlike complexions that we have.
Complexion.
Yeah, beautiful. But this is a very special episode just due to the fact that one of my favorite holidays is coming up. Do you guys know which one?
America's birthday. Let's all say it together.
1, 2, 3.
America's
birthday. Also known as the day that is celebrated as one of the most important days in our history, but is also one of the largest days for hypocrisy.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, and we're going to get into that.
We're already deep in the mother lode with
Definitely.
that statement.
So let's just go ahead and get into it then, in that case, since people know that, that's what we're looking for. So everybody looks at the founding fathers and they're like, oh man, these guys were really into liberty. These guys were real patriots. They cared about freedom. They cared about, all men being equal, things of that nature. And then, good old Thomas Jefferson starts raping his slaves.
I was about to say, I like to call him the slave fucker.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was. He was also an alcoholic and a drug addict. And I find that funny because conservative Christian type Americans that claim that they're patriots as well often cite him as this clean-cut fella who was by the book on God and everything like that. But in reality, Thomas Jefferson was also a deist. Do you know what a deist is?
Yes, he believed that something was out there, but it wasn't necessarily the God that people thought.
Exactly. Deism is basically just people think that God is up above watching all of this happening and he has no say in it whatsoever. That's all
Right.
that is. They just think that God looks at the human race as like a fucking TV show or some dumb shit. Which is probably a little bit more accurate than the Abrahamic religions of today.
Fuck, it's raining.
Just due to the fact that they, for whatever reason, feel like God is literally watching every facet of everybody's lives. I just find that to be completely unrealistic for a...
We're going to pause real quick because I got to roll the windows up and I don't want the Bluetooth to ruin it.
That's right.
And now we're back.
Alright, so we were at Thomas Jefferson being a slave-raping drug addict. Let's see, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going just to really ruin the idea of America for all of those people that... think that being an American is being in everybody else's business and not minding their fucking own.
Well, that's what America is, right? The police of the world.
Well, according to what I've been reading up on, George Washington actually abused loopholes in order to permanently enslave people. So, whenever they abolished slavery around, let me find the time frame, around 1780, there was a gradual Abolition Act, which abolishes slavery.
Okay.
And basically it stated that any enslaved person who lived in the state of Pennsylvania for more than 6 months was free. So you know what George Washington would do? He would send enslaved people on trips outside of state borders whenever they got close to 6 months, so that they'd come back and their time would start over again. Real piece of shit.
So, let me preface that I'm not laughing because it is funny. I'm laughing because there's not a way to justify why I'm laughing.
Oh, it's perfectly understandable.
Just the fact of, like...
That shit's funny. I'm sorry.
He had a loophole that he was like, okay, so... hypothetically, it would be like... All right, Jimmy, you're coming up on 5.5 months. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you to a little place called Virginia for a little bit.
Yeah, you'll be back.
And you're only going to be there for a couple days. And then you're going to come back. And then we're going to restart your timer.
Where am I going, sir? I don't know, seeds or something.
Yeah.
Just bullshit them.
What's even worse is he probably sent them somewhere, and they probably didn't really even do that much work.
No, they just came back.
When they got to the place, so they were like, Oh, it's like a week of vacation from not being a slave.
In fact, I think that's what the job was. Walking back. Like,
We're going to give you a stagecoach there.
you're gonna have to
and
get back on your own.
You're going to have to walk back on your own. And then,
Sorry, Toby.
if you're not back within that week, I'm going to double restart your timer.
Yeah.
You're going to work here for 6 months before I start the timer again.
God. This guy, I would like to meet this fucker. I really would, but, apparently, this is a fun fact that me and you could get down with, because if anybody listens, they know how avidly we drink.
All right.
They drank more than the double alcohol that modern people drink.
Damn.
So yeah, a modern day American averages about 2 gallons of alcohol per year. Okay, that's per year. Back
Okay.
then, your average colonist, just your average colonist, not like your forefathers, whatever, fuck. Just your average colonist, they'd guzzle like 7 gallons per year.
Jeez.
A few beers was like normal for them whenever they hit lunch to already be like 4 beers deep or something.
Oh, well, yeah, I did know. Yeah, speaking of that, I did know that at one point, beer was not looked at as truly alcoholic.
That's exactly what it says in here, actually.
And so there was no age limit for beer,
Mm-hmm.
and they would normally drink it with breakfast.
There's some interesting theories about this, too. There's a theory that states that the scarcity of clean water and the widespread belief that water was bad for you. Also, yeah, so these are the people that we look up to. People that think that water's bad for you.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I would love to be a doctor
Right.
in the 1700s, because it's like,
Here's some Coke.
yeah, like literally that's what they would do. It's like, well,
Got a toothache. Cocaine.
I'm sorry, bud. You got ghosts in your blood. You gotta do some cocaine about it.
Beer and cider were also not considered alcohol.
Yeah, see?
No one stopped them because what? This is funny. What timing is worse for an intervention than a fucking revolution? Thomas Paine's remains were stolen. That's also another fun fact. Thomas Paine's remains were stolen. Everybody knows Thomas Paine. He wrote the pamphlet Common Sense and passed away in 1809. Less than 10 people attended this funeral. So he didn't have that many people that apparently loved him.
Less than 10?
Yeah, less than 10, so 9. I don't know why they
That's-
didn't just say 9.
That's less people than, like, enjoy the music of U2.
I know, right? And the people that enjoy the only reason that people enjoy YouTube is because that's YouTube. YouTube, god damn it. That's all they can comprehend. Usually. The average YouTube fan, that's all they can understand. 1 chord progression and the same fucking vocal layout.
Yeah, not to get too off topic, but do you remember that movie that came out, It Might Get Loud? And
No.
It was Jimmy Page,
Uh-huh.
Jack White,
Uh-huh.
and the fucking Edge from U2.
The Edge! Does he really call himself that?
Yeah, the Edge.
I hate him.
And so,
I bet there's nothing edgy about him.
so you have one of the most well-known and well-celebrated classic rock guitarists, one of the most well-known and most celebrated modern rock guitarists, and the fucking Edge. And and what they did at one point, they taught each other how to play like different songs that they had written.
Oh,
so
God.
Jimmy Page taught them how to play Kashmir by Led Zeppelin. Jack White taught them how to play, I think Icky Thump
Of course.
with the water. Yeah. So then it got to the part where the Edge had to teach them how to play one of his songs, and it's like, well, do you know 4 chords? You can play any U2 song.
You really can. It's like the Ramones. But the thing about the Ramones is they actually had talent.
But the Ramones did that on purpose because they did it because they were upset that progressive rock had gotten so big,
Well, yeah, I really can't blame them.
and they were like, and not like classic progressive rock. They meant like progressive rock of like 30-minute songs with an orchestra behind it,
Oh, yeah, that's
calling it rock music.
That's what I was about to touch base on. When you had people like Rush, and you had people like fucking Supertramp, And you had people like give me some more.
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. When you had
Yes.
people that were doing the progressive stuff, you also had like 1,000 bands that thought their progressive rock was just as good. So what you got was a bunch of people coming out with these like 30-minute fucking songs that weren't even that good.
Yeah.
They weren't even that great. And then, Rush would come out and people were like, oh, that's a real progressive rock band. That's
Yeah.
why they stood the test of time, people. Because they didn't suck.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one. George Washington inflicted harsh punishment on enslaved people.
I could have guessed. I mean, it's like when they were writing the Declaration of Independence. It's like all men are created equal, and then they like winked at each other and was like, "You know what we mean."
Patrick,
You
know exactly what we're talking about.
Not everybody.
If you're not from Europe, get the fuck out. No.
Also, I'm not a huge fan of Dane Cook, but he does have some good bits. And one of the bits is that he was watching an infomercial, and it was like, if you order now, you also get this thing absolutely free. And he was like, so that got me thinking, what's the difference between free and absolutely free? He's like, maybe that's why there's still some racial tension. People got freed, but they weren't absolutely free.
There is a difference here, folks. Some more information about the forefathers. Found this is just going to be kind of an obvious statement. They felt like world leaders that were fucking up should take psychedelic mushrooms at least one time.
All right.
The funny thing about that is, clearly, the psychedelic mushrooms didn't help them at all, because they were still treating people like complete shit.
Yeah, it still took a couple hundred years before they were like, maybe slavery isn't a good thing.
Did you know, also, they found, decomposed bones in Benjamin Franklin's London home?
Of what?
Like, just people.
Nice.
Yeah, and they try to state something along the lines of, back in the day, it wasn't like, it was frowned upon to try to look at the anatomy of the human body or something like that. So they're trying to say that they did that underground so they would not get caught.
I could see that. I could also see Ben Franklin just being a total fucking psycho.
Me too, dude.
And just wanting dead people around him. Yeah. Because, I mean...
He was a Freemason, for one thing.
He,
Like, a lot of people don't know that about old Benji.
There's a lot of people that I know that are Freemasons that don't enjoy the company of dead bodies, though.
Right.
I wouldn't just attribute that.
Have they tried to drink your blood yet?
They have not.
Well, that's good. My grandpa was a Freemason.
Mine
and
too.
whenever I tell people that, they get uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I don't know why.
They're like, do you know anything about it? I'm like, he wouldn't talk about it. Do you know anything about it?
That's kind of like the whole point.
I don't know. That's what I
It's
said.
kind of like that's the thing. Like, they can't talk about it.
I'm not really allowed to... Wait a minute. What time is it? Oh, okay. I'm going
Yeah,
a little
we're-
crazy.
We're
'cause of,
recording on Seth's lunch break while
Yeah.
this is my normal day off.
bunch of ignorant asses. I swear to God, dude. I'd rather just not even go back in there.
Oh, how come?
Because it's just a game of pass the buck the entire time. Oh, that's not my fault. So-and-so is supposed to take care of that. So-and-so is supposed to take care of that. So-and-so is supposed to take care of that.
I was going to say, how's work been so far?
Pretty good.
Okay.
It hasn't been all that bad.
So not at all like you were just making it out to be.
I'm just pretending that it's good
Okay.
so that I don't seem like a complete and total asshole. But the reality of the situation is you can only complain about the same thing so many times. And you can only see complaints about the same thing so many times for you just want to be like, shut the fuck up. You deal with this every day.
Fair.
Shut up. Nobody cares. Go back to fucking bed or something. I don't know what to tell you.
So is your sister working from home too?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we're all just hanging out and making sure that we don't get to COVID-19. COVID-19.
They just literally everyone was like, hey, if you're able to work at home, work at home.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened, yeah. Yeah, and then before you know, apparently, dang else, my sister's not going back till December 31st.
Really?
Yeah.
Apparently that's what they're saying about us, too.
Well, I mean, there's been a huge surge when they tried to. Well, as we all know, what was going to happen when you tried to open everything up a little bit too early. But, you know, America's stupid.
Yeah, it's,
retards. They're full of stupid fucking idiots over here.
I saw a picture the other day, actually, and it was a very crude drawing, but it was like a comic.
Yeah.
And the first strip was two people in a house, and it was on fire.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, we got to get out. So then it showed them like in the yard looking at the house. And then for like 4 or 5 frames, they're just standing there looking at the house and it's burning more like as they're looking at it. And then at the end, they were like, all right, it should be good now. And then just goes back
Just
in.
walk right on back.
And it was like, America right now.
Everything's cool. It's still on fire. Fuck it. We'll get through this. You know, have you heard about the, this is stupid. Have you heard about the herd immunizations that are going on? People are just scheduling when they're going to show up in a large group and just hang out with each other and like try to spread the shit so they get it and then they're immune to it or whatever.
Yeah, but it's not like fucking chicken pox.
I know. People are so dumb. How many times have you had the cold? Like, think about this shit, people. Think about it. And they're like, oh, if we get it one time, we'll be good. No, you won't.
No.
The cold is a virus as well. How many times have we had the cold? Now, just explain this. Ugh.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, well, if we get it once, we'll be fine.
Said every idiot ever.
Technically, yeah, if you die, sure.
Yeah, if you die, it's over for sure.
If you get it once and you die, then yep, your point was proven. You only had it one time.
Man, you're good.
But
now you're dead. There's no way for you to, back your data and explain it to the world.
But, and that's a big but.
Huge but. Bigger than my ex's.
Sir Mix-a-Lot would be proud.
Very. He'd want to put his wine glass on it, then roll a blunt on the other cheek. But.
You can't.
Gotta love the word but.
You can't in all context.
And too. But and.
And if.
Yeah, and if.
That's the holy trinity. Ifs, ands, and buts.
And assumptions, which make an ass out of you and me. But you should do it as much as possible, because it pisses people off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anytime you assume something, there's always that one you know what they say about assuming? Yes, we do. You're not the first person to say it. Shut the fuck up. You're not funny.
But you know what I always say?
What?
Opinions are like onions.
Uh-huh.
And if I have 4 onions,
yeah,
and you have 11 onions,
uh-huh,
then we both have onions.
God, you're good. That's a really good way to look at it. We both have opinions. Yeah, I just may have more than you. How many of these opinions are based on fact? I don't know.
And that doesn't mean that your onions are wrong. It just means that my onions may be more informed.
And a little bit more plentiful.
And not racist.
Yeah, that's a good point. Especially around here. Have you noticed, like, all the people that are trying to be like, all lives matter around here?
The thing that gets me the most.
Since when?
The people that say, well, it was actually the Northerners that wanted to keep slavery.
No, my God, that's not true.
So, well, to an extent it is, but if you want to do that, and it's like, okay, well, the Northerners didn't have the Confederate flag, so let's take the Confederate flag. And then everyone's like, don't touch my heritage!
Like they even know their heritage to begin with. Most of these people can't even read a fucking book. Like
the Confederacy lasted 5 years. 5 years.
Which is longer than most people's marriages.
You know, you want to know how long Outkast was active?
How long?
In their heyday, before they went on hiatus, almost 10 years.
So
why do we not have statues
of Outkast,
of Big Boy and Andre 3000?
God damn it, you're so right. Could you imagine?
Other things that have lasted longer than the Confederacy. Are you ready?
Yes.
Half of presidential terms, because half of them have been elected twice.
Yeah.
The Earth.
The Earth. You're just coming up, just pulling it
Me?
out. Direct TV.
I have lasted longer. Yeah, DirecTV.
The Catholic Church, unfortunately.
All of our podcasts combined. All the episodes of our podcasts combined.
Yeah, are
are longer than the Confederacy.
Where's our statues?
Oh, dude. That's
You guys need to erect a statue in our honor.
that is the ultimate goal.
Erect.
To hopefully get big enough that Bristol puts up a statue of us.
And underneath it just says, fags. Could you imagine?
I don't think they'll do that.
That's a touchy word, I've noticed.
Yeah,
Unless you're on Call of Duty,
Yeah, it's true.
then anything flies.
You know how many people that play Call of Duty have apparently fucked my mom?
Oh, a ton. You should be like, really? My dad said it's not that great.
Yeah.
My dad said it's not that great.
It's like, well, I'm pretty sure that's one of the contributing factors of why my dad left.
He's not.
Either it wasn't good or there was a lack of it.
Or his other lung collapsed.
I'm just kidding. Both of my parents are still together.
Happily.
Yes, happily.
My parents are sometimes happy together. It just depends on what drugs they're on.
I was going to say, a lot of it, their attitude does depend on how often they've seen each other that day. The more they've seen each other, it's like, oh, you can tell they're doing the married thing. Like, just bickering.
Me and Burger King have one thing in common, ladies.
What's that?
We're full of flavor
Wow.
and ready to put you in labor.
Ooh.
That last part was not about Burger King.
Burger King, just as a service announcement, Burger King cannot make you pregnant.
At least not that we know of.
There have not been very many studies about it, but what we know about it right now.
From the numbers that we've gathered, not many people are getting pregnant from Burger King. Mm-hmm. It is a monarchy, so I mean...
But the numbers do suggest you crave Burger King
Eventually,
when you are pregnant.
Eventually someone's going to have to fuck the king, though, because he's going to die, and then we need a new king.
Man, whatever happened to those commercials with the king?
And who's the Burger Prince? That's what I want to know. Yeah, seriously. Whatever happened to the Burger King commercials? Too creepy, for one thing.
Everyone's losing their mascots, though. Like, everybody. Like, Flo no longer does progressive
What
commercials.
happened? She was kind of hot. In like a weird, quirky way.
The Wendy's girl,
She was kind of hot in a weird,
like
quirky way.
she's not there anymore. The gecko from the Geico commercials.
He was kind of hot in a weird, quirky way.
God, okay. Did you see the commercial they did about Bristol for Geico?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, and it was the little lizard, and he was standing on State Street. And it was...
Trying to score some meth.
No, it was kind of cool, because he was talking about being in two places at once. And, like, he would be like, and now I'm in Tennessee. And now I'm in Virginia.
That's the crack talking. Seen plenty of crackheads doing that shit.
That's what every tourist does when they come to our area.
I'm in two places at once.
It's like, man... There's a place out west where you can be in 4 places at once.
Every time somebody does that from now on, if we see it, we need to be like, that guy's a comedic genius. And then, like, film him. Just start filming him. Do it again, sir. Do it again.
Just publicly shame him.
You're definitely not the first. You're definitely the first person to ever do that, sir. Definitely the first person.
I bet his caption for this is, I did a thing today.
I'm pretty original, not gonna lie. He gets a photo op of every redneck with one tooth fucking from here to Virginia.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
This dental plan's awesome. They just pull them. They don't even...
Yeah.
Then they give you a set that you just put in every morning.
Yeah, it's easy to be a dentist around here. It's also easy to be a doctor. You know,
you have heart disease.
No, not even that. You know what you got to do? It's easy to be a southern doctor. Let me take that back. Because...
Do you talk with a twang like this? No, seriously. What?
Have you tried to pray about it?
Oh, you're so smart.
Oh, that changes everything, Doc. Thank you.
Jesus took the wheel. He also unblocked the blockage in my heart. Thank you so much.
Let me tell you, all you gotta do is pray about it.
Sometimes they'll manipulate you too. I know my doctor did.
Like how?
Get down on your knees and close your eyes and start to pray. No, that didn't really happen. No, I'm just being stupid. I didn't give the doctor fellatio. Do you know what fellatio is?
Head.
Yeah, it's like a blowjob.
Blowjob.
But it's way more fun to say.
Fellatio.
Fellatio.
You know the
Fellatio.
word for going down on a woman?
What would that be?
Cunnilingus.
Cunnilingus?
Yeah.
How would you like some cunnilingus tonight?
Guaranteed to not get you laid.
Guarantee. You're not gonna.
Hey ladies, how would you like me to perform cunnilingus on you?
You're gonna be eating something, but it ain't pussy, bud.
It sounds like a disease.
Maybe a middle finger. It does, doesn't it?
I got the cunnilingus.
I got the cunnilingus. I don't know what to do.
But fun
It
fact.
sounds like a skin rash.
Fun fact. That's where the slang term cunt comes from.
Really?
Yeah.
I love the word cunt. No, seriously, it's a juicy word. I feel like we should just do an entire episode
On the history of
of cunt.
cuss words.
Oh.
I mean,
I was just like,
I don't know if we could fill a whole episode of just cunt.
Oh, we could fill a cunt with an episode. Now I'm trying too hard. No, I'm trying too hard. It's like that moment you realize that you're just trying to squeeze all the milk out you can of a joke.
Out of that juicy tit.
No, I was talking about a joke. Not see. Here we go. It's getting perverted in 3rd grade again. What are we gonna do?
What kind of bees make milk?
What?
Boobies.
See this? We need to have a segment in the show where we just go mentally retarded for like
Yo mama is so fat.
just dumb shit that isn't funny.
She jumped up in the sky and got stuck.
Man, you're funny. You're really funny. You dirty Mongolian dog.
Everyone knew a kid in like elementary school that talked like that.
Like an Asian?
No, that just couldn't pronounce their R's.
Oh, yeah.
correctly.
For sure. And you try to help them and they'd be like, my mom said you're an asshole.
Or you had the ones where it's like,
They'd be at speech therapy. Now who's the asshole?
my mom told me I had to be nice to you.
What? You don't have to. Shit, kid. No, did I ever tell you about my first altercation in school before I go back into this hellhole?
What kind of altercation?
Well, I got into a fight in 5th grade, and this fat kid thought he could just hold me down or whatever.
Yeah.
So I, like, bit his nose. And
He forgot about your ground tight air game.
Yeah, exactly. So I, like, bit his nose, and I'm, like, just doing that little number there with his nose in my mouth. Yeah, like, just like a dog almost.
Like a dog.
And then I let go, because I, like, blacked out, didn't know what was going on. So then I let go. And the first thing I see is just a puddle of blood in the fucking, like, in the floor and everything. And I'm being pulled away. And then the kid's like, why did you do that? He's, like, crying and shit. And I'm like, dude, you just basically tried to fucking, like, crush me with your fat fucking tits.
Dude, you literally got his nose.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? I should have said
got
that.
your nose.
Got your nose, little guy. He was a big dude, though. He was fat as fuck. I'll never forget that.
Do you remember his name?
Scott.
Fuck you, Scott.
Yeah, fuck you, Scott. Try it again. I'd love to see you try it again. No, I'm picking
Do you
fights
know
with.
what Scott's doing nowadays?
I'm picking fights with 5th graders that.
Over
He's
the
not.
internet.
He's not a 5th grader anymore, but he's probably like.
He's still in 5th grade.
He's probably like selling crack or something. The last time I saw him, we were in summer school and he was trying to sell me Adderall. So,
That's a good sign.
and we were in 7th grade too.
That's a good sign.
There was also this girl named.
There's summer school involved. There's drugs involved. That's a good sign that he
There
was
was
on
also
the right track.
this girl in 7th grade. Her name was Carla. She was 12. She went into the bathroom, okay, in summer school, 7th
Yeah.
grade. Never gonna forget this. She got caught doing a sheet of meth Just she comes out of the bathroom. She's like got powder all over shit. She's like,
Where did you go to middle school?
well, I went to middle school at Halston Valley Middle School, but we went to summer school at Vance Middle School.
That explains.
So that
it.
you get a blend of different fucking idiotic kids.
Yeah.
You know,
All right. I knew some of those Vance delinquents.
dude, one of those kids almost got me shot because we
I
would hang
believe
out
it.
together.
I
We would hang
believe
out
it.
together on the weekends and stuff, and like we were skating near. God, what is that? Do you know where Ferguson's Animal Hospital is?
Yeah.
We were skating near there. And there's this little row of homes that are obviously shitty little government homes people live in.
Yeah.
And my friend John's like, oh, we're going to play Ding Dong Ditch really quick. And I'm like, yeah, it's a fun game. I like playing Ding Dong Ditch, actually. It's pretty fun. I was a troublemaker. But there's this house that he picked out in particular that I knew was just a bad idea. And it's because you could see the window and the door right beside the window. The guy is in the fucking window. He's not even 3 feet away from the door. So John doesn't even ring the doorbell. He slams his fucking skateboard into the door and shatters it. Okay, so this door is broken now, and then we all just take off. Well, I look back because I'm like, I wonder if this guy's gonna come outside like an idiot. Of course he's gonna come outside. So then I look back, and this guy, he's got a gun. He's pointing at all of us. He's like, you motherfuckers! And then I look, I'm running up this hill. The hill is wet hill. So I slip, hit my fucking face plant right into the side of the hill. Okay.
Okay.
So then I get back up, gain my equilibrium, jump straight into a bush because I'm not about to get shot for these fucking idiots. So I'm hiding in the bush. My friend Zach's like, dude, we're gonna go hide underneath the Bristol Bridge.
Okay.
So we're hiding underneath that bridge, and my friend Tristan starts throwing rocks. And I'm like, why are you throwing rocks? He's like, there might be homeless people here. And I'm like, so instead of just being like, sup, dude, we're hiding from the cops, you're going to throw rocks at them?
Get the fuck out of here, you homeless people! Why are you homeless? Go find a home!
Yeah, seriously, dude. And he's like chucking these rocks in their tents and stuff, and I'm just like, man, this is a side of the city I've never seen before. Because when I was like 12, 13, I'd been sheltered for a very long time, and I was trying to get out of that. And after that night, I realized I didn't want to be a part of any of that shit. Like, all I wanted to do was skateboard and smoke a little weed. That's all I wanted to do.
Dude, can't do that.
It's the American dream, bud.
Skateboarding and smoking weed.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that could be part of it.
When you're 12.
All right, fair enough, yeah. Dude, add like seeing some tits in there and you got it made.
That was also something we tried really hard to do. It would pan out sometimes when I was younger, but not so much anymore. I think something happened to me.
I was about to make a really bad joke.
You should.
I
You
don't
should
know.
totally do it.
I was gonna say along the lines of, oh, well, you were trying that when you were like 12 and 13 and having a pretty high success rate. Have you still tried it with like 12 and 13-year-old girls?
No.
You might.
No.
It worries me that it took you that long to say no to that, but
I didn't pause. I wasn't like, actually, there was that one time. No.
well, let me tell you,
Damn, how long has this been going?
we're at 33 minutes.
All right, we did good.
All right.
I hope you guys enjoyed the 4th of July episode. I don't hate this country. I just miss the way that it used to be, when the cops would leave you alone unless they were needed, and you could do whatever you want to your body as long as you weren't hurting anybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's if you really dive into our politics, you will find that we are more libertarian than anything, because basically what it boils down to is I know the best way to live my life, but I don't know the best way to live yours. And as long as you're not hurting yourself or someone else, who am I to stop you?
Exactly. But we rape that every day, because what we do is we'll have these things called no-knock warrants,
Yeah.
and then we'll get the wrong house and we'll kill the wrong person, or just stuff like that really isn't needed.
But then they will justify it because the cop was scared.
Exactly. Scared of breaking into a home? Weird, but okay.
Well, Anyway, happy 4th of July, guys.
Indeed. I hope you guys blow some shit up. Make really bad decisions. I mean, you're only here once. Why would you want to be careful?
Drink like our forefathers did.
Yeah, make it all fuzzy.
See you guys.